No, no, no. I'm not trying to make a joke out of the Super Bowl analysis. The hat just this represents the party, the Super Bowl parties that will be going on tomorrow across the world. The Super Bowl being the most watched event in the entire world. It is the biggest sporting event in the entire world. And that's what the hat represents there, the party aspect. I got the Super Bowl party sign there, still Dan Marino up there. So that's what the hat represents, but I don't get into that. I get it. And we're going to be now predicting Super Bowl 50. And when I say predicting, I don't mean I'm looking into the stars. No, that's not what this glass is. I'm looking at the stars. No, no, no. No, no. Stars are made during the Super Bowl. And why are stars made? I just told you, it's the biggest game in the world. And the intensity of the Super Bowl is unmatched. If you deny that, you're not watching football closely enough. You go watch a whole year's worth of football. Comes the Super Bowl, you'll see the intent from the kickoff. The intensity is raised. Everything on every play, plays you would never have seen, and accomplishments that you would never have seen during the regular season suddenly happen Super Bowl time. You're not gonna have like the Redskins with a 35-point breakout in quarter two of Super Bowl 22. Steve Young throwing for 7 touchdowns in Super Bowl 29. I mean, it's just everything is magnified. Every play is magnified, if you watch it closely, you'll see the intensity is magnified. So stars are made. And again, because the intensity is there, if you make the plays here, you become a star. And tomorrow we're going to see who will be the stars. And okay, so let's start now. Again, I'm not calling it soothsayer analysis because I'm wearing that I'm looking into the stars to make this prediction. That's not why I'm wearing that. It's just that the stars will be made. Not that I'm looking into the stars to predict. I'm telling you shoulda analysis. That's what I'm going to call it. Shoulda. This is what should happen. This is what should happen. I'm analyzing the game, breaking it down. This is what should happen and would happen most of the time. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. All right, I've talked about that a few times already. Predictions are ridiculous, but we're analyzing the game and what you should expect to see. All right, let's take it from Denver defense versus Cam Newton and the Carolina offense. Now, Cam Newton clearly has convinced me. I don't know if you've been watching my S.A.L.T productions here, but I predicted Cam to lose to Seattle. I predicted Cam would throw a few interceptions. He would struggle. I mean, after all, Seattle is a very good, excellent, maybe not the defense of the last 2 years, but certainly it's still an excellent defense. I thought they'd struggle against an Arizona team the Arizona defense that blitzes a lot and can give you problems. Cam Newton came through both of those, and because of that, I remember I had a one presentation in the one S.A.L.T production where I said, Cam, I admit it, you're a top 10 quarterback. And of course I said, what do you mean, Cam he was never top 10 last year. And even during this year, as he's doing that, as he's having a great year, and he was just voted the MVP, we are within 24 hours now of the Super Bowl. The excitement is building. You have to say that, again, you have to say that Cam Newton's a top 10, but don't be telling me Cam Newton's a top 1, 2, or 3 yet. Many years he did not do what he did this year. This year he gets credit for it. He's been fantastic. And I didn't think he would carry it into the playoffs, and now he carried it into the playoffs twice. If you carry it into the playoffs, that proves that what you did during the year is for real, and it also lifts and makes you into a star. See, the star, what you do in the playoffs counts much more. Cam Newton, you are a top 10. Now, would I be surprised if next year he dropped right back to the old inconsistent Cam Newton and wasn't as accurate? I wouldn't be surprised, and hopefully you wouldn't be surprised if you follow football. But, and by the way, if he did keep that up, obviously he's a top 1, 2, or 3 quarterback. Combining the accuracy that he had this year with his running ability, and he also has leadership skills. I mean, that confidence, and people don't like that he's enjoying the game, and what's wrong with that? I would eliminate his dances and he doesn't have to dance too much, especially on when he's on the road. Why that's a little bit lack of class, but having fun and playing the game, no problem with that. If he can keep that accuracy with his running ability, then he's one of the top three quarterbacks, obviously, in the league. And so, how's he going to do it tomorrow? I'm talking a lot, but how's he going to do it? Well, this is the best defense he's met, if you'd like to say that. But I think there are two misconceptions here. First of all, Denver is not this great, unbelievable, dominant defense. I mean, this is we're going a little overboard in their analysis of Denver's defense. Excellent defense, but so people rate statistics too much. They look at statistics way too much. I mean, if you watch, there went the glasses. Boy, I told you I'm making a joke. I'm going to pause. Okay, now I look at the low tech. I can't hit the pause button. Now that may have been funny, but the glasses coming up. But I'm trying to make a joke out of this. All right. We were saying how people look at statistics too much. They are the rated number one defense, Denver, but they're not this unbelievably dominant defense. They're not even much better. They're the same as I would put them on the same level as Seattle. Is that Seattle without the dominance that they had the last few years? If Canyon did against Seattle, I don't expect anything different with Denver. Unless you want to say law of averages, when he plays against a couple of good defenses, one of them he's bound to not play as well. Okay, that could be, and I wouldn't be shocked if Cam Newton threw an interception. I wouldn't be shocked if he got sacked. But now Denver had over 50 sacks, and by the way, I looked it up. I was surprised to see that Carolina was sacked over 40 times. So I wouldn't be surprised if he gets sacked a few times. But what reason is there to believe that Cam Newton is not going to do well? Again, I don't mean he's not going to put up 40 points. All right, he may not put up in the 30s, but again, all of a sudden he's going to fall apart here. I don't see him collapsing. That's for sure. So I would think he's going to get in the 20s at least. That's reasonable, even with a couple of sacks, even with if he throws a pick. All right. What people aren't also taking into account is that they looked at Denver. They're going by their last image of Denver, and they see they were swarming all over New England last week. So your last picture of a thing makes the biggest impression on you. So they were very good and excellent against New England. And that's even with, I'm right about my 5-part production that Brady was not hit as much. Okay, Brady was not hit as much, but they were excellent in that game. One of the reasons why they were able to do it against Brady and New England was because they didn't have to worry about the running game. You didn't have to worry about a Carolina running game that is multifaceted. You got first of all, Cam runs left, right, or center. Stewart, off the read option, therefore can go left, right. You have Stewart a couple of different directions. Cam 3 different directions. He's the only quarterback in the league that goes up the middle. And he, by the way, he won't worry about injury tomorrow at all. He might do more running than he usually would be because I don't have to worry about injury. And he'll put his head into part. I wouldn't be surprised if he ran for 100 yards tomorrow. Let's put it that way. And then you got the jet sweep. You got guys coming around on the sweep. So you can't just commit and come at Newton on the pass rush. You have got to honor and try to stop that run. That certainly slows down a pass rush. So, again, what you saw last week with them swarming around Brady, don't expect them to be swarming around Newton. He hasn't been swarming around all year. Again, that's even with the fact that I just noticed he had over 40 sacks. Okay, but I think that's because he tries to make plays. He holds on to the ball. He moves around. All right, he's athletic. He's going to try. He's not going to just go down. He's going to try to move around. All right, I don't see Denver all of a sudden being this unbelievable thing that keeps him in the teens. I would think Carolina's going to score in the 20s. All right. He won't score in the 40s, 30s. But here's the part that I'm a little bit more confident about. Let's go over to when Denver has the ball and when Carolina is on defense. Again, Carolina, very underrated defense. They've had it for years. Denver's only been this great this year with Wade Phillips and putting Vaughn back from injury. Vaughn was injured. That was 2013. DeMarcus Ware. They added Ware. They've added in the last few years T.J. Ward. They have Aqib Talib. Trevathan and Brandon Marshall have risen and gotten better. So they have lots of play. They put it all together this year. Carolina's put it together for a bunch of years already. They've had it together for. They have a strong defensive team, great linebackers, a decent pass rush, enough to that's one of the good parts of their defense. And they made a weak part is the two safeties, but their corners are great. Norman is fantastic. He didn't even lead. Well, they didn't throw towards him. The other guy had seven. Who's got the guy with the 7 interceptions on the other side? All right. So Carolina's defense is nothing to sneeze at. And are you expecting Brock Osweiler to be able? He's young. He's too young. He's not going to be able to get it done. A young guy, more like he didn't. I didn't see him doing it against great defenses. I don't expect Brock Osweiler, a young rookie, to be able to do it here. Only had a few games during this season to be able to do it against in the Super Bowl. Carolina, they don't have a great running game that he can rely on. What'd you say? What Brock Osweiler's not? What did you say, Peyton? Oh, Peyton Manning's play. Peyton Manning. No, Peyton Manning will be out of there by the second quarter, assuming Gary Kubiak has the courage to pull him when he sees that he certainly won't be able to do anything. The only thing that could beat Carolina is the deep ball. I don't even know if that might be overrated. And Peyton Manning ain't beating him there. Again, Carolina should do the same thing that Bill Belichick did for most of the game, except for the first drive when he gifted Peyton Manning a touchdown on the first drive because he played back and he played zone and wasn't playing aggressive. If the rest of the game he played press and he did nothing, people made it sound like Peyton Manning was good in that game. The only thing he did good was he didn't throw an interception. Okay, very good, but he was horrendous in that game after the first drive. And that was because of Carolina is an aggressive, cocky defense. They're not going to give him anything. They're going to come at him. Go ahead, burn us deep if you can. And Peyton Manning's not. So I'm very confident that Peyton Manning will not put up much. If they have any courage, they'll put in Brock Osweiler, who might have a better shot. Actually, he can throw the deep ball. No running game there once Carolina's playing up. I'll give him 3 points, 6 points. Again, I'm not exaggerating there. I mean, I was being practical by giving Cam Newton only in the 20s. Fine. Carolina may score more because I think Carolina's going to get defensive points here. All right, but if Peyton Manning's going to be careful here, then he's going to do nothing on offense whatsoever. That's the best you can say about Manning. He may not throw interceptions tomorrow. This score is 27-6. This score could become 44-6. Maybe Denver gets some points off defense. Okay, so let's go 30-13, 27-13. Now, you want me to give me a scenario where Denver wins? Yeah, they'll get a couple of picks, and they'll slow down Cam Newton. Manning won't turn the ball over, and they could pull out a 17-13, a 14-13, 13-10 victory. Highly unlikely. Again, why the spread is only 5.5? It would start at 4 and went up to 5. Again, this has the markings of a Carolina blowout. Certainly a double-digit victory. Even if you don't want to give Cam Newton that many points, which I don't know why you'd all of a sudden do that. He's done it against two very good defenses already in the playoffs. I got the one factor. Whenever all the factors point one way, for some reason in the NFL it goes the other way. Okay, you can go with that. Everybody's picking Carolina. Most people are picking Carolina. Maybe because of sentimental reasons. He had Peyton Manning in his last year. He'll get it. Fate is on his side. It's in the stars. There you go. The stars say that Peyton Manning's got to go out a winner. They'll play for him and they'll let. Again, I'm giving you football reasons. We're doing scientific analysis here, not stargazing soothsayer analysis. We are doing what should happen. What should happen is, don't come back to me after and say, well, yeah, I gave you a few reasons how Denver win, because there's no reason Denver should win, so then they'll win. That happens in football a lot. Anyway, so that's your final score. Which one should I pick? Anywhere, Carolina, anywhere between 24 and 44 points. Denver, anywhere between 3. I'm giving them 3. Notice I didn't say shutout. I could say that. We'll give them between 3 and 13. All right, that's good enough for you? Carolina wins Super Bowl 50. That's a sold production. 15 minutes, and my 15 minutes are up.